I decided that I needed to take a new approach for this film. Rather than concentrate using purely RF to record sound, I would use the recording capability of the A10s. The problem with this is that you end up with lots of multiple files which you may not be able to start and stop. You may not be able to add the necessary metadata information of slate and take. That could lead to lots of complications within editorial because, how do they handle all of those files? I needed to be able to deliver to them files that they were used to seeing and that they could handle easily. This meant that I need to be able to conform all of those files in some way at the end of the day, ready for editorial. The idea is that we use the A10s as personals, as booms, and as plant mics throughout the sequence. We jam them with timecode, and we start them up using the app. When we're not necessarily being able to start and stop them, just leave them recording. But what we do is we record the Scorpio at the same time, putting all of the metadata information in of slate and take and starting and stopping with camera. At the end of the day, we make a sound report in a CSV format which we use to conform all of the separate A10 files. Having copied all my A10 files onto my laptop, I'm now going to convert them and conform them. So I open up Mic2Wav. As you can see, I use 3 separate A10s, which is my number 4, my number 5 and my boom. I'm going to drag all of those files into Mic2Wav. And now I'm going to conform them, which means I need to choose what my EDL to conform. And that's in my sound reports. So here now I'm going to now do convert, and this will now ask me for my destination folder, which I'm going to put as conformed files. As you'll see, it's a fairly quick process to convert each file. There's going to be 15 files here though, which is going to be mono files, and not what editors are used to seeing. They're used to seeing a poly file with all of those separate tracks in. This is something which you may decide to do at the end of the day. I think for me, I will have an assistant do this throughout the day so that we don't get such a build-up of material to do at the end of the day. And this is just another process, much like the DIT have to do, and I think a data wrangler kind of operation that we could do fairly easily, and it wouldn't be too difficult to have an assistant to do this. So we can close Mic2Wav for the moment, and now I'm going to open up here, and here are my conformed files. So as you can see, I've got 15 separate files here from 3 separate takes. I have takes 1, 2 and 3 of the sequences, but of course they are in separate mono files. To make those into a poly file, I open up Wave Agent, and now what I'm going to do, I'm going to drag take 1 of A, and then take 1 of B, and take 1 of C, and I'm going to drag that into Wave Agent. And now select all of those files, and I'm going to combine them. I select manual, and I select where I want to put them. I want to go on to tracks 1, 2 and 3. A destination file name, which we know is going to be the slate number, which in this case I called boat test 1, and it is take 01. Now I can process, and it's done as quickly as that. We can now look into the poly files, and here is our poly boat test in a poly format. The next thing I'm going to do is to open up Wave Agent again. And I'm going to drag that poly in to Wave Agent. And I'm now going to add the file names, which was, let's call the PAs, let's say it was John and Marco, and boom. We're now going to save that, and we now have those file names, the track names named. If we look into the playback mixer, we can now just we can fade down all of these other tracks which we don't need, and perhaps we also don't need the boom track for the moment, and so we have the two PAs, which is John and Marco. We'll open up the transport window and we play that take.
Roll camera. Motore. Boat test. Good. Azione, vai. So, how many times have you done now? When did you start floor seconding?
What, sorry?
When did you start seconding?
2.5.
As you can see, the files all sync perfectly, and there we have a poly file that we can present to editorial.